What's up, y'all? Welcome back to your new favorite podcast, The Misplaced American. I am your host, Justin White. I have a treat for you guys today. I did a collaboration podcast with Project Possible, ran by Jason Rose. He's a buddy of mine from the gym, and this man literally does everything. He was a bodybuilder, a UK Ninja Warrior finalist. He does rock climbing, strongman, powerlifting. You name it, this guy's probably done it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he was an astronaut. um, but yeah, we kind of sat back and talked about like life, me moving to the UK, my prior life in the military, and just our kind of our goals and aspirations and where we want to be in life. So yeah, if you enjoy the podcast, please go give them a follow, go give them a shout out, and if you like this podcast, please give us a share and yeah, tell your friends.
Hey Justin, you well?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm really well, thanks, mate. All good, all good. Just doing the best to survive what's going on at the moment, but yeah, keeping positive. We won't talk about that too much.
Yeah, the Corona apocalypse. Yeah.
Yeah, well, apocalypse, zombie apocalypse, whatever it's going to turn into.
Yeah.
Do you know what, mate? Straight out the bat, I've got to ask you. You was a fighter jet mechanic in the
Yeah.
in the American Air Force, weren't you?
I was for 6 years.
Wow. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. It's the first thing that jumped out at me. When you sort of sent me your bio, I was like, I got to hear about this, man.
Yeah, it sounds a lot more glorious than what it is. It's definitely a lot of long hours, probably base 12-hour days, possible weekends off. There's no guarantee you get weekends off, but it's kind of rewarding because you're putting $1 million jets up in the air to fly around. It's rewarding, but it has a lot of like downsides to it because you are working outside in the elements 12 hours a day. It's exhausting. You're on your feet. You're eating. We call them hydro sandwiches because your hands are so covered in oil and hydro. Like by the time your lunchtime comes around, you just start just shoveling food in your mouth because you don't have time to wash your hands or go clean up. It's definitely not
Yeah.
it's not a glorious job, but it's really a rewarding job.
Yeah. Yeah. Aviation fuel sandwiches.
Yeah, essentially. Let me just dip my sandwich in some oil and go on my
That's
day.
quality. Where was you based, mate?
So my first station was in Italy, northern Italy, in the mountains. So it was really nice and beautiful. And we would like it was so close to the mountains you could snowboard for PT in the mornings.
Quality.
But then, yeah, it was near Venice, which is I guess the coolest part. Most people didn't know about. It was really close to Venice. So we would go to Venice like pretty much every weekend if we could, just to take pictures. And uh, it was this event called Carnivale de Venezia. It was just huge. It was almost like Halloween in Venice, where everyone dressed up in classic Venetian wear and just kind of danced around the town like all night long.
Yeah. So you did your training in America. What part of the States was you you doing all your training before you got posted?
You a spy? Am I allowed to say this? But no, yeah, it was.
I'm intrigued, mate. I'm intrigued.
But no,
I love.
it was mainly all in Texas.
Yeah.
Everything is kind of just in Texas, which is pretty like common information if you just Google it. But yeah, everything's in Texas. You get trained, and I was there during the spring going into the summer, and that's probably the most sporadic weather you ever have. But
Hmm.
yeah, all the training was mainly in Texas, and you go through. When I went through, it was 8.5 weeks of you learning how to just break down your civilian life and become this military, pretty much go from being an individual to going and being a group.
Yeah.
So you learn how to march, you learn how to salute, you learn how to talk, you learn how to ask permission, you learn how to knock on doors, like simple things like you learn how to walk in a room and address someone in the higher ranking than you. And they break down every little thing you know about yourself, and then you become like this military mold.
Yeah, they completely rebuild you. What pushed you to go in as a fighter jet mechanic? Why did you make that decision?
So it was it's actually a funny story. That was made for me. I initially had another job, and my recruiter called me maybe 2-3 weeks into me waiting for my job, which I was supposed to leave like 6 months, later in the year. And he calls me one night and he goes, "Hey, we had a guy drop out. Do you want to leave tomorrow, like tonight? I was like, excuse me? And he was like, yeah, you can leave tonight. And I was like, what would my job be? He's like, oh, it'll be open, open maintenance. They'll pick a job for you, but I'm pretty sure you can get the same job you had. And I was like, oh, okay, that sounds cool. I'm this 20-year-old kid just about to leave. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. And yeah, just got on a bus, got on a plane, got on the bus like that night, and ended up in Texas the next day. And yeah, and they gave me like 8, I want to say 7 weeks later. I was like, hey, I don't have a job, and they were like, oh yeah, you do. Your job is technical aircraft maintenance. So you're working on F-16s. I was like, oh, that sounds so cool. And
That is quality. So you sort of just jumped into it without even.
yeah, it's kind of the story of my life. It's just kind of jumping into situations and not knowing the result in the end.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. That sounds incredible. And you're over here in the UK now. You've decided to start your own podcast, the Misplaced American. I'm all up for giving you a shout out for that. I'm loving that we can collab and bring 2 podcasts together. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It was nerve wracking. I'll say that because I saw you in the gym actually, and then I think someone mentioned to me first that you had a podcast, and then I came across you on Instagram. You sent me an Instagram request, and I was like, oh, he does have a podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna ask this guy for advice because everyone seems to be like creating things, doing stuff, and like he seems to have his life together. Let me ask him, how can I do this? And you seem so confident about it. And I was like, you know what? If he can do it, he's confident. I can do this.
Yeah, calm on the surface and kicking like mad underneath, mate.
Oh no! If you could see me on camera, I'm sweating bullets right now.
Hey, nah. You're doing a cool job, mate, and you're a cool customer. I liked you from the minute we first met, and yeah, totally. If I can give you a hand, mate, I'm sure it will come full circle one day where I might need your help, and it's what it's all about. You got to lift other people up, haven't you, and give them a platform and give them a voice. And I like what it is that you're doing. You're out there. You're a personal trainer, strength and conditioning coach. Credit to you for coming over here. Doing your degree and getting out there and giving back. How can you not get behind someone like that?
Yeah, I think that's a really big thing. At least in my community where I'm from, a lot of people don't. I won't say not support small businesses, but don't support or just like not small businesses, just an individual doing things for themselves because it almost seems like maybe if they succeed, I'm not going to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And there's enough, and I guess a term I use with my friends in America, and like slang almost, it was like it's enough bread for all of us to eat, So
Yeah, there is,
like why is me helping you gonna step or you helping me gonna like hinder you from succeeding the same way I'm succeeding? If I'm succeeding, I want to help you succeed. We can all eat together. It's enough bread for all of us.
Yeah, of course there is. There's enough platforms and there's enough listeners and there's plenty of it to go around. Everyone's going to have their own particular taste of what they're interested in, and variety is the spice of life. And your podcast, what you're talking about is, coming over from America, and you said a few things to me that was really funny about it, a few ironic things of like the cultural differences. And I just think I think it's really quirky. It's awesome, mate. Well done to you.
Oh, appreciate it, man.
And you're a dad as well, aren't you?
Yeah, 1-year-old.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I've,
That's a lot.
Yeah, I've seen you nipper terrorizing you on Instagram and Facebook. Some of the videos you put up are absolutely quality.
Yeah, I actually just started something. I don't know if you've heard of this TikTok thing that's going on.
Yeah.
These young people. I guess it's essentially just the grandchild of the Vine thing that was going on years ago. But yeah, somebody was like, "Oh, you should make a TikTok for you guys. You guys are cute." And then like just one of the videos I posted got like almost 8,000 views, and I was like, "Oh, it's really cool." Just me, and it's just literally just me and my kid, just
really
like brushing our teeth. Just.
I've seen it come up TikTok, but I've not jumped on it. I pretty much get the sort of general idea of what it's about, but I've not been on there myself.
Yeah, it's essentially just guys with no shirts on and girls with leggings doing dances and then getting likes.
Yeah.
It's Instagram with certified music, I guess.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I'll definitely have a look into it. If it's worth having a laugh and it brings a bit of humor to my life, I'll jump on it because I'm all for posting, stupid stuff.
Oh, then you definitely love TikTok.
Yeah, I will do. I'll have a look into it. I mean, it's for me, but I'm all about putting content out there that's fun, that can give people a laugh, can give people some motivation to train harder, to be better people, to just share the love. That's what it's all about. That's what my social media is all about. I was an advocate of being against it for so long, and I had my periods of time where I come off it, and I wasn't really too involved in it. I was pushing it to one side. But you know what? It can actually be a real positive thing. Hence, what we're doing now.
Yeah.
For sure, it definitely makes a massive difference, and it just opens your viewpoint up, and discussion to a wider audience for people to listen in and take something away from it.
Yeah, I will say you're probably one of the more interesting people
Oh, cheers,
I've
mate.
encountered.
I appreciate that.
Well, no, it's because, but you didn't tell me this when I first met you. I just assumed you were just a really strong power lifter, a really good like lifter, or just a really athletic person. And then you followed me on Instagram, and I was like, oh, he did like the Ninja Warrior thing.
Yeah.
Like most 99.9% of people don't do that, and they succeed. And I was like, what is happening? Like, did he really do? And I went through was searching videos. I was like, did he really do this? And I was like, wow, he really did this.
Yeah, really did genuinely do it. And I tell you what, Justin, that was honestly an experience of a lifetime. It was a rush. It was a rush like I can't explain. The whole process of having the audience there and being so high up, doing all these obstacles with knowing you've got 6 feet of water underneath you and it's going to be aired to, I think it went out to 10, 15 million people viewed it. Suddenly, the sort of seriousness of what you've signed up for suddenly becomes real when you get there.
You gotta
It's
have
like,
did you feel
wow.
like a stage fright when you initially got to that first part of you're like, oh God, I can't do this.
It, everyone says, what was the hardest obstacle? I'm like, the first one, because you're trembling, your palms are sweating, your knees feel weak. You're like, this doesn't feel like I'm in my local gymnasium. What's going on? When I'm in my local gym, I'm just flowing. I'm just
Yeah.
moving between apparatus like it's nothing. And then the minute you get out there and you see the audience and everyone's stamping the stage, it's like a feeling I just can't explain. You know yourself through competing that when you're in your environment and you've got your headphones on, you're in your little safe zone and you're doing your lifts. But when you come out and you get that slap on the back and suddenly there's an audience, the whole dynamic shifts.
Yeah, definitely. And
It's
then
like, right, this is game time now. And it's, I'm trying to give myself, how can I explain it? I'm trying to not let myself down, but also give myself credit as someone looking in and seeing me as a person. So everyone are going to be watching me thinking, is he going to do it? Is he going to fall? Is he going to do it? Is he going to fall? And they're watching every step and every movement. And you just feel that overwhelming pressure. But what's really bizarre is after I took them first few steps and I started flowing, it felt like I was in a video game. I can honestly say that course, it took me just under 2 minutes to complete. And
right.
it was 2 minutes of my body working at 100% efficiency. I've never operated as a unit so flawlessly in all my life. It was incredible. I couldn't tell you how I did it. I can't explain the emotions I was feeling as I was doing it. But before I know it, I was at the warped wall at the end. And I stood there and I looked into the crowd and I could see Ben Shepherd and the flames were going off. And I was like, I've done it. I've beat the Ninja Warrior course. I can't believe it.
That's man, that's such an accomplishment. Wow.
I,
What made you want to do, how did you one day wake up and like, you know what? I'm gonna conquer this.
I'm going to
And
conquer it. I tell you what it was, because I got fed up of sitting on the sofa watching Gladiators, Total Wipeout, Ninja Warrior, all these shows I grew up watching, being a couch warrior for years and years and years. So I could do that. I could do that until I got the nudge and it was like, go on then. go on then, show everyone that you can do it. And I said to myself, I need to do this. And I honestly, hand on heart, said this, mate. When I run up that warped wall and I hit that buzzer, I turned around to myself and I told myself, if you never accomplish anything again in life, you can always say that you got up and you beat that wall and you beat the Ninja Warrior course. I'm no longer a couch warrior. I didn't want to keep saying I could do that, I could do that, I could do it. And I just signed up and I went, I'm going to do it. And that was literally it. I grew up watching Gladiators, and I always wanted to go on there, but I was just a bit too young when it was on TV, and
Right,
I didn't really want to go run headfirst into some of them Gladiators. They were absolute bombers. And I just woke up one day. I seen that they was doing auditions for it, and I went, do you know what? I'm going to go for it. And I knew if I could get to the point where I got to the course, that I'd stand a really good chance. But you know yourself through competing, mate, that to say you're going to do something, when you actually get there and it's crunch time, you can either flop or you can succeed. And I just didn't know which way it was going to go. You sat backstage watching absolutely unbelievable athletes fall in on the most stupidest of obstacles that you know for a fact they've practiced and they've absolutely nailed it every time. Missed footings, they're falling in, their nerves are getting them, they've got slippy hands, they're just incorrect footwear, they've showboated, whatever it is. I just thought, stay cool, calm and collective and just focus forward. Don't look at the crowd. Don't get distracted by the fact that it's going on TV. Treat it as much as you're just practicing and you can get through it. And that was the mindset I had.
Wait, excuse me, I'm going to do 10 push-ups really quick. Jesus Christ. Jeez. All right.
Do you know what? Whenever I see someone do something like really, really athletic or incredible, it makes me feel really inactive. So it fires me up to go and do something that right after I spoke to him.
So how long? So is it between that and power? Like, so you also, I saw you powerlifted also.
Yeah, so I powerlifted in my early 20s. I competed for the BDFPA. I did full power and I did single lift as well. So I always sort of like specialized in, my deadlift was always my best lift. So I competed at 72 kilo. And back then I hit a 170 squat, a 247.5 deadlift and a 147.5 bench. And that was as a junior.
Jeez.
Had a couple of years out, went back, did the Midlands Open, but I just did single lift and just did deadlift and just equaled what I'd already done. And yeah, so I had a good little stint at powerlifting. I did a few shows and I did pretty well, mate. I got a couple of trophies on the mantelpiece, a couple of first places and a couple of runners-up trophies where I missed the mark a little bit. But hey ho, it is what it is. I had a good shot at it.
Oh, I love powerlifting. That's like that's the one thing in life. It's the one thing in life I'm good at, or I feel like I'm called to do. It's probably powerlift.
Oh God, mate! I see you squatting there, and I just think, I look at the size of my legs, and I think, why is it that I can't squat that much?
No, I genuinely think I was just genetically just made, like something in me was just built for. I remember in high school, I was bullied. If you ever listen to my podcast, I told people I was bullied in my early years in school, and I started weightlifting because my weightlifting coach or the gym coach was like, "Oh, just come, lift with football players every day." It's a gym, it's a weightlifting class, and I said, "Okay, I'll join a weightlifting class." And all the guys in there were like these huge American football players, and I was like this skinny little 145 pounds, so like maybe like less than 74 kilo kid. And I remember I got under the squat rack one day, and all these guys just benching and doing hang cleans, and I was the only one who wanted to squat. And so I was like, I'm going to try squats. And I remember I was like on the leaderboard in my school for squats. And like I remember I used to have like these big football players surrounding me when we were squatting. Everyone was just cheering for me, and I remember I just loved the way it felt. And I was like, oh, I love being strong. And everyone always asked me like, how are you so strong? How do you do that? And I was like, and you're the smallest guy in the weight class. I was like, I don't know. I'm just good at it. And it's kind of always been that my whole way. Even in the military, it was like I remember my best friend Craig. Shout out to Craig if you ever hear this. Uh,
Yeah, Brother Craig.
we were lifting, and I was also stationed in Guam, a little tropical island in between Australia and Japan. Really
Yeah, I
small.
know Guam. I've met one person from Guam actually.
If honestly, if they were not there, we probably know each other. That's how small the island
Yeah,
is.
it's tiny.
But I met my friend Craig, and he was trained to be a powerlifter, and he always saw me like I was just at the time I wanted to be a bodybuilder. And I remember one day I tried to bench. I was like cutting for a competition, and I tried to bench like one plate, and I couldn't do it. And somebody was like, "Oh, it's normal for a bodybuilder. You know, you're getting weaker because you're getting leaner." And I told my friend Craig, I don't want to do this. I was like, "This is not what I want to do." And he's like, "Oh, dude, you're good at deadlifts. Just try to deadlift." And so I would just go toe for toe with him with deadlifts. And he was like, "Dude, you so much smaller than me. How are you so good at deadlifts?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. I just pick stuff up and put it down." And he got me into it. And then I moved to the States for a year, did my first competition, and I trained myself. I had no coach or anything, and got first place, which was nice. And everyone always asked me. I remember I'll never forget the day. Like biggest accomplishment to me was this really really big guy in the gym who was, I think, an equivalency of struggling to deadlift like 250 kilos. And I like went and repped 250 kilos right behind him.
Yeah.
And he walked up to me and he asked me, he's like, "Are you on gear?"
The first question anyone asks when they see someone lifting slightly above the average.
Yeah, it makes me so that's like the biggest compliment to me is when someone asks me, it's like, "Oh, are you on steroids?" And I was like no, I wish, but no, but no, but yeah, it's just I love it now. Like so now my last heaviest deadlift was 300.5 kilos.
Jesus, sumo.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think conventional most of our pool was 270,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just I have super long arms and extremely long legs and a really really short torso. So
Yeah.
sumo. I'm like built for like sumo deadlifts.
Yeah, you are. Your movement mechanics. I've looked at your movement mechanics and your efficiency for your A to B, and like you said, mate, it's flawless. Your low bar squatting is just. I squatted with you that day, and I mean,
Yeah,
if it was a game of who could squat the most, you're gonna leave me for joke. That's your movement, mate, and you owned it. But I've seen the way you deadlift. And you're right in what you're saying, but the thing is, it's also your hip mobility and the fact how you break at your hips, how low you get your hips, how how prominent your chest is upright, but you've also got this really wide gait with your feet, so you're just you're perfect setup for sumos.
I will say like I've had two big influences in my life when it comes to like deadlifting. One being my previous coach, Dawson in the States.
Mm-hmm.
He trains in the States, and then my current coach was I'm going to start again soon once the virus is over. Lewis here in the UK. I'm not sure if you ever met Lewis. He used to come to games a lot. I think he moved to London.
I haven't met him now.
But yeah, he used to work in games like his legs are the size of your torso.
Yeah.
It's huge. But yeah, and they always just like they both kind of gave me tips and hints. They're like, you're made for this. Like you have long femurs. You have your way your feet are. This is how your hips should move. You should do mobility. And also, I constantly just like I don't like being bad at something. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it right. And in my head, there's no such thing as I can't do it. It's either I'm going to do it right or I'm not going to do it at all. And I was like, I can.
Sure.
I was like, and I knew I was like, I can do this. Everyone keeps telling me I'm so good at this. I was like, I want to be great at it. And so whenever I see a video, everyone's like, that looks good. And people tell me, oh, you look great. I'm like, and I look at the video, I'm like, what are you seeing? I'll pick out every possible flaw in any video I record, just because I don't ever want to be good enough. I constantly want to be better. And I feel like it's a way. I feel like it's a big way people should.
I can tell you this now, mate. Firsthand, you're a legit lifter. You are a legit lifter, and you've got some very, very, very big lifts. And I mean, your body weight isn't huge either. And to be able to generate that much power through a deadlift and a squat, I mean, I don't really know where your bench is at and any overhead work that you do, but
we're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
let's just keep praising the squat and deadlifts.
Yeah, let's just keep talking about the good stuff. Come on. Mate, that's class. That is. But yeah, man, some really big squat and deadlift numbers. And I mean, what have you got planned going forward? Are you considering jumping into any more shows? Have you got anything lined up or?
I do want to do more powerlifting meets.
Mhm.
I was talking to a trainer in Bedford, and he does strongman. And he just every time I talk to him, he tells me like this things and like they train this, and I've always enjoyed like the way strongman looks, like how they can do cardio without it looking like cardio. Like the fact you can carry something and just walk up and down, but you're still burning as many calories as you would be like sprinting.
Yeah,
And I think that's so interesting. And
it
everyone,
is.
I see them and I'm like, and it's kind of intimidating because every strongman I know, like the smallest strongman I know is like maybe like 100 kilos.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
went, and I struggle to reach 83.
Well, you you,
So
you do realise that there is actually you can do weight classes. There is under 80s, under 90s, under hundreds, don't you?
yeah, I, I fall into this is probably a podcast for a different day, but I fall into the trap of social media, judging people's best on social media
Hmm.
to my everyday.
Yeah.
So I see how the best are, the people who are the top of their game doing, and then I compare that to my everyday, and I was just like I can't, I'll just stay away from that now until I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but with that said, mate, if you could that transfer of power and explosive energy can shift over. I mean, if you've got a really good deadlift and you've got a really good squat, you're packing a serious amount of back and leg strength. So you'd be really good at a lot of the events. You'd be surprised. Okay, a lot of the strongman events are, for example, medleys and they're a lot of overhead work. But if you've already got the lower sorted, all you've got to do is worry about bringing up your pressing. And I mean, if it's something that you're interested in, I know a couple of facilities within striking distance of sort of where we live that we could go to, and I could introduce you to a few people, and we could have a throw around on some of the kit. I've been fortunate enough to do quite a bit of strongman training, and I know quite a lot of facilities within our area that have got the sort of equipment that you could go at and sort of without any prying eyes looking on you have a little go at, like trying Atlas stones, and you could have a go at getting just a 75 kilo 65 kilo log above your head and do a medley or a tire flip without anyone sort of like looking in at like British or world level. Do you know what I mean?
Well, let's be clear. I actually enjoy people. So I hear people all the time saying like, I hate people look at me in the gym. I enjoy the when people look at me in the
Yeah,
gym.
yeah.
It might sound really narcissistic,
Yeah, if you
but
know.
yeah, it's just like either the person looking at you because they're concerned about what you're doing and
Mhm.
maybe they want to come help you. And if they do, I encourage like, hey, if you have advice, please give me your advice. Like
Yeah, for sure.
I don't ever know everything. Or they're interested in like, wow, he's lifting a lot of weight. Like let me see if he does this. And they're genuinely just curious. So either way, I embrace it, but I understand how some people don't enjoy being stared
Hmm.
at in the gym. It can be intimidating.
Yeah, we
But yeah,
can.
I'd 100% be down for that. It looks fun. I I want to do it. I do want to do it.
We'll go and have a throwdown, mate, because the funny thing is one of my goals is actually to compete in under 80 kilo Britain's strongest man. I would actually really, really like to have a go at that. I've got to shed probably 8 or 9 kilos of body weight, but it's actually on my bucket list as something that I really want to have a go at. Whether I'll place, whether I'll do well, I don't know, but I'll be turning up to win. And I feel at 80 kilos, they're going to have to go some to take me out. I know that for sure. However, they've, like you said, they're well established. They absolutely nailed the movements. They do it day in, day out. I'm under no illusion that there's some phenomenal, very lightweight strong men out there that they just do this day in, day out. It's what they do. It's what they eat, breathe, and sleep.
Right, but to be clear, you're also a freak of nature. So I'm pretty sure you could just walk in and like get top three and not be like, oh, I was just a casual lifter. I'm like, no, you're a tank.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That went well.
It's like, what's next? Let me see. He's like from Mr. Olympia now. Like you know.
Set your ambitions high. But yeah, mate, I'd be well up for that if you want to get if you want to go and try it out and go and do a few lifts and just we can just go up and just have a throwdown and see what we can move about, see what we can do.
Yeah, because like I said, you showed me kettlebells recently, or one day, and I started doing that, and like, because I was doing it wrong. I've always done kettlebells wrong, so I should never touch them. And then the day you showed me kettlebells, and I was like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. And I was like, all right, I trust him.
Yeah, yeah, and they're a great builder, aren't they? They're oh, man, they're savage. Kettlebells are. Your training, mate. If with implementing kettlebells and the mobility work and some of the strongman stuff, you'll be on another level of strength, mate. You'll be on another level of strength. I could see it now. Your training would just elevate to a whole nother level, man.
And now I gotta get this my eating down. I have a degree in nutritional science, and then like I get so bored eating. I just don't do it.
Yeah, but hey ho, mate. It doesn't matter. Just re-get your focus. Start again Monday, and just go at it. Get a plan. You know, we've got a little bit of got something cool to look forward to now. We can both go and smash it out.
Speaking of smashing things out like the gym wise, where are you with like your training with everything going on? Like, how's that? Has it like have you hit a roadblock, or do you have like equipment at your house that you're able to like do anything?
Okay, so where I'm at the moment with my training is I've got my push bike, I've got my feet so I can go for a run, I've got my kettlebells, and I'm going to be doing a lot of sort of like calisthenic work. Just I'm going to be doing a lot of body weight stuff. I, I'm all but struggling with barbells and dumbbells. I haven't really got them kind of facilities, but I just figure if it's going to go on for sort of like 8 to 12 weeks, what they say, fortunately, like yourself, being natural, I'm not gonna the strength and sort of like the size I've built isn't going to diminish too much. So for me at this point, I think go into a massive phase of at least maintain where I'm at,
Yeah,
and
be
I'm
healthy.
I'm going to do that with basically body weight and kettlebells. I did a 12-minute kettlebell workout today, and I was absolutely crucified. I got the 20-kilo kettlebell, slung it round with Tabatas, and I was blitzed. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to get the variety of exercises I'm going to get going to the gym with the resistance machines and stuff, but I think I'll be all right for 3 months. Why? What about yourself? You've got a barbell, haven't you?
Yeah. So I recently, one of my friends loaned me one of his barbells, and it's only a 15 kilo barbell, but it's all you need if you're trying to just stay healthy until something else comes along. But I got a 15 kilo bar, a couple plates, a couple fives, a couple 20s, and I got actually just recently invested in resistance bands,
Mm-hmm.
and so I did an entire arm and shoulder workout with just resistance bands,
Yeah.
and I surprised myself because I was actually pretty tired and pretty burnt, so that was nice. And then for the first time, I'm not a jumper or a sprinter, so I did jumps and sprints today.
Yeah, some
That was
plyo stuff.
yeah, that was that was a thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you think it's forcing you to sort of like adapt your training a little bit and try new things?
Yeah, I definitely I see that because I don't want to be a one trick pony for too much longer.
Hmm.
I'll be 30 next year, and I don't want to be that guy who's just done powerlifting his whole life and then look back and then tell people when I'm in the gym like, oh yeah, back in my day I did powerlifting and that's it. You know,
Yeah,
I do want to I do want to try new things. I want to, you know, because I have a daughter and I want her to be able. I don't want to be the guy who just does one thing and then try to preach to my daughter. You should try multiple things because I didn't.
mate, I like that. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And you want to become a more well-rounded athlete, don't you? And if you can put plyo into it, you can put bar work into it, resistance bands, sprints, cardiovascular, aerobic and anaerobic training, you're going to become a better, well-rounded athlete and ultimately strength athlete, aren't you?
Right, because you don't want to be just put into a box of just a powerlifter or just a bodybuilder or just a strongman. You want to be an athlete, and it took me 29 years and a lot of like sore muscles and like breathing heavy when I'm walking upstairs to realize that
Yeah.
just being a powerlifter isn't the way I want to be.
No, Don't pigeonhole yourself. Always think outside the box. Do you think in order to succeed and become effectively the sort of like the best or the champion at something, you need to put all your eggs in one basket? Or what's your views on, do you think you can do other styles of training and still progress in your specific discipline?
So it's funny you say that, actually. So if you look at a lot of major, I'm not sure how it is in the UK, but in America, a lot of athletes play multiple sports through school,
Mm-hmm.
and even in the college, they'll tell you to pick up another sport. So if you hear, like, we hear LeBron James, and he talks about how he almost played football. Like, he had a choice between NFL or NBA, and obviously chose the NBA. But he's a multi, like, he can do anything essentially. And I feel like as an athlete, that's something you kind of need to be prepared to do.
Yeah.
Like, if you because for instance, sure, I train for powerlifting and I enjoy powerlifting. I feel like maybe if I had done another style of lifting, I wouldn't be so exhausted by the end of my sets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can do 3 sets of 3 of pause squats, and I can, and it won't even be anywhere near my like 70%. But I'm so exhausted and so winded, and I like almost black out. Whereas somebody like you who does other things can do 3 sets of 3 of pause squats. So I even seen you do like reps of 10. If I did a rep of 10, I'd probably pass out. So but if I was able to do that on top of being strong, like, it's creating a whole different monster. Or
Of
like the
course it
people
is,
who,
yeah.
yeah, like, or people who, like, look at Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman he did bodybuilding and strongman. I mean, not strongman, powerlifting,
Yeah, he did.
and he was huge. And he went from not even, I don't think he placed in his competitions to winning the championship, like winning like Mr. Olympia.
He
So
did,
it was like,
yeah. He went from last place to winning it the following year.
yeah, and he didn't put all his eggs in one basket. He knew he was gonna be Mr. Olympia, but he also did other things on top of that. And that's what I kind of try to tell people now in our area. And everyone's like, "Oh, I don't lift the power lift. It looks boring." And I tell people, I was like, "You don't have to be boring." I was like, "You can do powerlifting, and you can train for competition. It's like a peak can maybe take you, like, if you want to do a decent, like, if you want to go from powerlifting or bodybuilding to powerlifting, just, you don't cut weight for bodybuilding for what, maybe 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks before a
Mm-hmm.
competition. Same with powerlifting. You don't really cut weight. You're just gonna peak for those 4 to 6 weeks, and after those 4 to 6 weeks, you compete, and then you go back to normal. Except the difference is you don't cut a diet. You just cut the weights, the volume you're doing, and increase the weight.
Yeah,
So
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
so yeah, I think putting all your eggs in one basket limits you to not being an athlete anymore. It limits you to being proficient at one thing, and
Yeah,
I think being proficient at one thing can put you in a really stagnant place.
yeah. Do you know what? Fair, fair play for saying that as well. Having been the person that specialised and focuses primarily on powerlifting, you're looking outside the box, and you're looking at other movements, and you're looking at other ways of training as well, and it's fun. Stepping outside the back box for myself, I love powerlifting. I love strongman. I love calisthenics. I love all these different types of training methods, but I still love rock climbing, and that's nothing to do. That's nothing to do with powerlifting, but it's fun and it's exercise. And some of the smaller movements and some of the sort of dynamics of climbing do switch over to make you a better strength athlete when you're in the gym as well. For sure, they do transfer over some of the skills and some of the strength you gain from climbing, or you say Ninja Warrior. It does make a massive difference. It improves your cardio, improves your mindset, and just it turns you into a better all-round athlete. You're saying you're coming up to 30 years old now. You're effectively, you're in your prime now, mate. This is your prime. If you're gonna go and grab the ball by the horns and really start venturing out and doing some other types of training, your body is primed, ready to do it now. And it's awesome, mate, that you want to go and do all of this stuff, and you are doing it. It's really cool to see. I see on your social media, and obviously I know you, and I've seen the way you train. You're ready to take it to the next level, mate. You are.
Yeah, I will say I definitely think that the Kickstarter was having a kid and then having to constantly have to adjust my schedule from being able to go to the gym 4 to 6 times a week, like and spend 3 4 hours in the gym to like I'm essentially like a semi stay at home dad, if not a full stay at home dad now, since with everything going on. And so I have to cut my gym time to maybe max 3 times a week, and those 3 times a week have to be. I need to squeeze everything out and be done by 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I generally feel bad when people talk to me in the gym because I used to be this. I'm a very charismatic person. I love talking, and I can sit in the gym and talk to you for an hour and then lift for two. And so I'll spend all day in the gym just talking, but
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore. So
No, you can't.
whenever I see people in the gym, I feel bad, but I have to like wave them off because I have to see my kid, put my kid to bed, or I have to wake up early so I can take her to the nursery, or I
Mm,
know she's kind of sick, so she's gonna wake up at 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, all night. So it's just I would say
yeah.
being a dad kind of like powerlifting itself is like trying to train for a meet or peaking for a meet is a little bit harder. Whereas something like maybe let me go in and I don't want to say get a pump, but just go in and just kind of work out and just feel good rather
Mm.
than just train for like 3 hours of squat, bench, deadlift.
So you're going in for that specific 30, 40 minutes training, quality over quantity. And what so are you throwing like accessories in at home? Is the fact that obviously we're all sort of like in lockdown at the moment in regards to our training, our gyms being closed. Do you genuinely go into your gym and do sort of like the stuff you've been focusing on recently? Is that something new or is that something you've always
Nope.
done?
So my best friend in the States, Lance, shout out to Lance if you watch this. He's always been like he's my little brother, and we used to work out together. So now he does this thing where he's all about like body weight things, kind of like body weight things. He does whatever he can. If he can find a heavy pot of water, he'll squat a heavy pot of water for like 10 sets of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And just trying to do new things just to stay active and keep his heart rate up, keep the blood going, and like just kind of I hate the term get a pump, but just kind of like just feel good. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm doing here at home. I watch his videos. I'm like, I can do that. I can do jumps. I can do sprints. I can lift lightweight. I can, I've been trying to practice hang cleans. Uh, Not my thing, but I'm trying to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it
But yeah,
doesn't.
but I'm not able to do bench press because I sold all my before all this happened. I sold all my home gym equipment, so I can't really do bench press. I can do light squats because I can shoulder press it over my head, uh, and yeah, but it's mainly kind of just
Mm.
shoulders and back and a lot of legs, a lot of lunges, a lot of split squats, a lot of jumps.
But with the,
Yeah,
with the fact that you're doing this sort of stuff at home means that you can be around, your family, you can be at home, you're in your garage, which is attached to your house, you can be doing all these accessories. So when you go to the gym, you can just focus on your lifts. You're doing so much outside of it in your garage, and this is kind of like it's good that you've said all the different stuff you're doing whilst you're at home in your garage. You give some great ideas there, mate. Just like in just dropping in general conversation that people can take away from this, things that I haven't said that you've given me some ideas as well, which is cool. That it's interesting you say you do this sort of stuff. So when you go to the gym, your time's limited. You can just focus on your things that you're doing regarding your powerlifting,
yeah, my primaries,
your
like
primaries. Yeah,
squat, bench, deadlift. That's where you live in the powerlifting world, and everything else is an accessory too. Squat,
SBD all the
bench, or
way.
deadlift.
Oh, that's quality, mate. I think the time's running away with us here, and we're closing up on that 40-minute mark. And I know that when we get to 40 minutes, it may potentially boot us off here. And I feel like I could keep talking, but what we can do is we've covered quite a lot today, mate, in this podcast. It's just we've just let it rip. To be fair, we can definitely schedule in a collab part two at some point.
No, definitely.
And we, we,
Yeah,
we can
this is definitely a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, I like this.
no, mate, you've smashed it, and it's really good to come on and have a chat to you. It's flowed awesome. Considering we don't know each other that well, we generally just chat like we've known each other for years, to be honest.
Right. Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll wrap it up. I'm just a bit concerned that it's gonna boot us at some point, mate. So
Okay.
we
Okay.
will resume this at another point. We'll schedule it back in and we'll see the feedback we get. But I'm pretty sure everyone will be wanting to listen on because there's loads more we've still got yet to talk about, travel and, just getting to the bottom of what things are all about at the moment. But we can discuss that next time.
Yeah, this is more of a fun podcast. Next one can be down to business.
Yeah, zombie apocalypse and takeovers and all the rest of it. But
Yeah.
like I say, hopefully you and all your family are in good health, mate, and you ain't been affected by this
No, no, we're fine.
coronavirus.
I hope you guys are good and safe, and hope you guys stay healthy until this whole thing's over.
Yeah, all good over here, mate. All good. So thanks for your time, Justin, mate. Appreciate it.